So being a first-time mom, I was determined to get everything right, especially when it came to breastfeeding. I didn't see my mom or any of the other women in my family do it for long. And so I was really committed to getting a whole year of breastfeeding in. But I was not prepared for the mental strain that it was going to take for me to make it that entire 12 months. So when I first delivered my oldest daughter, right from the gate, I was like, let's do it. Let's get her right on. But I was faced with a lot of challenges with latching and then the constant pressure from the hospital staff to do formula. Oh, it's okay. We'll take her for the night and we'll just feed her formula. And that felt so counterintuitive to me. And then once we got home, there wasn't a lot of support because again, nobody around me really breastfed for a long time. But I was constantly worried about whether or not she was eating enough. Despite what the doctors told me, nobody's reassurance was enough to get the constant worry out of my head. And so day after day in that tiny little lactation room in the office, it was very depressing, by the way, I was trying my best to pump enough milk to feed my baby. And on most days, I would be lucky if I got 2 or 3 ounces in, which was not nearly enough to keep her fed during the day. And so by the time we got to her first birthday, which should have felt like an accomplishment because I was able to feed her for a whole 12 months, it just felt like a relief. A weight was lifted off of my shoulder because I was finally done. I didn't fail. I did something right as a first-time mom. Fast forward 5 years, and when my twins were born, here we go again. I am committed to making it a whole year. And again, everybody said to me, well, that's 2 babies. That's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. You don't have to do it. But I knew a lot more the second time around than I did the first time. I consulted a lactation consultant. I did everything that they told me to do, and I pumped earlier. And starting pumping earlier allowed me to introduce bottles earlier, but it also allowed me to make that whole first year a success. And so when we got to their first birthday, it was a triumph, not just for me, but also for them. We made it a whole year together of me not feeding 1 baby, but 2 from my body the way it was intended to.
Hi, I'm Ariline. I am a doula and a breastfeeding mom. And we're going to talk about something that I'm very passionate about, breastfeeding. Not only have I experienced breastfeeding 4 times, I'm also supporting moms in breastfeeding in my work as a doula. As a mom, I wanted to be able to feed my baby and not feel pressured, but I was pressuring myself. I wasn't asking for support. All the tools that I learned as being a doula went out the window when I became a mom of my 4th child. I was not producing enough. I was on TikTok looking at all the trends and it just wasn't working. And I had to pivot a little bit. I supplemented for a small bit, but then I got back to the drawing board and did the things that I needed to do. I had to drink enough water. I had to make sure I was getting enough food. I was making sure I was getting enough sleep. And I had to focus on me to make sure I was able to provide for baby. So what I do to support my moms, if they're having an issue, what we'll talk about is what are some concerns you're having and why are you feeling this way? Why do you want to give up if that's your choice? I don't stray them away from that because it's your choice if you want to breastfeed or not. But if that's what you wanted in the beginning and that's what we talked about and that was a part of your birth plan, what is making you not want to do it anymore? And a lot of the times it's milk production. And I always have to remind my moms that your baby has such a small stomach and your breast is giving them what they need. You're not in this alone. And me as your doula, I want to make sure that I'm there for you in every step of the way. It's okay to, pivot. It's okay to say right now, breastfeeding is not what I can do. And it's okay to try other avenues. A fed baby is a good baby, and that's all that matters. It's okay for you to take a step to the side and consult a professional. It's okay to speak to your partner and let them know how you're feeling. It's okay to feel the blues. It's okay to not produce enough milk in the first month or 2. And it's okay to take a step back and say, what do I need to get where I want to be? And ask for help. I'm here to help you. Your partner's here to help you. Your family and support is here to help you. And you're not in this alone.